Guys, I've lived in Arizona for over a couple decades now, and I was here super immersed in baseball when they first built this ballpark called Bank One Ballpark back in the day. Now it's called Chase Field. And at the time, the retractable roof was like the thing everybody talked about. And when you first went to a D-backs game, it was so cool to see the roof open and close. And now I'm here during the off season. So they got the field under construction. They're doing all these projects while baseball's in the off season. It's January right now. And when we come back to do an update in the spring, when the season's back in session, we'll see the green grass, all the projects done, people in the stands, and the D-backs winning. And we'll hopefully do an update video about the D-backs' compost program. You'll meet my friend Jeff out front. They said they'll have us back in the spring to show you guys how the D-backs are trying to compost a lot of the organic stuff being produced here at the ballpark. So let's go out front right now and check out how the D-backs greens vertical gardens are doing. Okay, so the wall gardens, the tower gardens, whatever you want to call it, the D-backs greens are doing great so far. Let's go see what they're growing inside the beds. It's January. Let's see what's ripe and what's ready in the outside of the Diamondbacks stadium. That's good, man. That's good. You guys, I'm back here with Alex from Flower Street Urban Gardens. How's the garden project for the Diamondbacks going?
It's been fun. It's been really amazing. Today we're here January 11th, and we're coming down doing a harvest. And we've been doing the harvest once a month. Okay. And coming down, and so some of the volunteers that come down from primarily United Healthcare and with the Diamondbacks, now we've gotten some that have been back. And so they're sort of knowing what's going on. Then we got some introduction people today that we're sort of training on how we're doing the harvest.
So most of these volunteers you have are from United Healthcare?
Yes, United Healthcare.
And they just come to volunteer for the day once a month or whatever?
It is, but you know, the gardens are sponsored. Diamondback Greens is sponsored by United Healthcare.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's a big initiative that they're wanting to teach their people how to live better, how to eat healthier. And gardening is one of those, as you know, one of those elements that we all need to do better with.
And one of my questions is, where's all the food you guys are harvesting going?
That is a really amazing story. It's going to Kitchen on the Street.
Which is a nonprofit in town?
It is a nonprofit, and I think you'd love to talk to her a little bit about how they're processing the food and where that's all going to. Because she's got an amazing story right there. Okay. So all of it's donated there, and what we do is we have cold plunges. We put, once they harvest them.
Well, let me show that process. So you got the cold plunge here, and when you first harvest, you put the produce in there.
Dip it in there, chill it really quickly. Okay. We wrap it into paper towels, and then it ends up in these coolers.
Give me some dip here. And who are you? You work with the Diamondbacks.
I am Jeff Campbell with the Diamondbacks. I'm here with United Healthcare and Alex from Flower Street Urban Gardens.
Thanks for supporting the garden.
Absolutely.
So when are we going to have the entire stadium covered, and then every stadium in Major League Baseball covered with gardens?
We can only control ourselves, so we'll focus on building this one up as best we can.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great project, for sure. This guy's amazing. So
thank you. I've really enjoyed over the last few months seeing it grow and develop, and I've been to a few D-backs games, and I get to see every time and see what crops are ready to harvest at that month, and it's pretty nice.
Absolutely. This guy does an incredible job of actually bringing in new products. So what grows in the winter doesn't always grow well in the summer, and so we're able to now, having almost 7 months under our belt, able to bring in new products. And today's more of a harvest, but 2 months ago we actually planted some new products in there as well. So it's been great.
How long have they been growing for?
Well, since it was like mid-July is when we put them in, which, if you can imagine, it was that week, it was almost 120 degrees here. It was record-breaking temperatures, and that's when we initially started the project. Took off really well, and then in October, that's when we started doing the plant change out and working with Kitchen on the Street as well to figure out what they can use that's in season. Because that's really important, is that, you know, you can grow all this stuff, but can we get it into the kitchens and get it into people's bodies to feed them?
And now that you guys have had 6 to 8 months, almost a year coming up in July, you'll know, you'll have some real world data of what you can plant this next July or next August or whatever here.
Exactly. You know,
but this microclimate, because this is like a microclimate you have here, so every microclimate kind of has to have not only just the science of gardening, but the art of gardening a little bit too.
Oh, for sure. You know, we're facing, the gardens face west.
Okay.
So during the midsummer, when the sun's really high in the sky, it gets blasted. Now we're, like I said, we're in early January. The sun's low in the sky. So it just gets some glancing sun late in the day. And you can see it's just now sort of peeking through some of the openings here in the stadium. So it casts some interesting shadows and light plays onto the garden. But figuring out those microclimates here in really any of our gardens, that's what we need to figure out. And it takes a while to do that sometimes.
Even if you're growing on the wall of a baseball stadium.
Even if you're growing on the wall of a baseball stadium.
Okay, so to keep this process going, after you guys are harvesting produce, it goes in the cold plunge, that chills it.
Then we wrap it up in paper towels, and it's marked in, we've got the cooler marked, and we've got, this is kale.
Some beautiful kale you guys grew.
We have those all in different, you know, we'll have different bundles of them. So when it gets back to Kitchen on the Street, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to process.
Cook with it, prepare it.
Exactly.
Who do they give the food to? Is it the homeless or needy, or who are they giving the food to?
Both. It can be both.
Okay.
And I think it would be great if we could bring her in. She's a little busy
here
right now. Yeah, she's here right now.
Well,
let's talk to her.
Questions. Okay, so now we're joined by
Lisa Scarpinato from Kitchen on the Street.
Kitchen on the Street. You guys are local here in the Phoenix area?
We are.
Your organization?
It's a nonprofit my husband and I started about 10 years ago.
Okay.
We give food insecure kids food backpacks so they have something to eat on weekends.
Okay.
So as
when they're not at school.
Exactly. So as a way to fund that, we have a not-for-profit cafe at Scottsdale and Shea. It's called Street Cafe, and folks can come in and purchase a meal, and when they purchase a meal, a child eats through our food backpack program as well. So we are going to use some of what we get today to be garnish, topping, all kinds of good things at our cafe. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to work with our schools that hand out our food backpacks, and we're going to introduce these new items to some of the families that maybe haven't ever seen them before, don't have the chance to go to the grocery store and just try things. And so this is a great way for them to get to sample things, get an idea of what flavors are going to go with some other things that they're maybe making and enhancing, and then showing them their kids where it came from, because we had kids from the schools here as a field trip last time when we harvested, just kind of all the way around.
So Kitchen on the Street.
Kitchen on the Street.
And why did you guys first decide to start this? You and your husband started it?
My husband and I started it, yeah.
What made you guys want to start this organization?
So I grew up in Glendale, and about 10 years ago we wanted to teach our daughter to be a good citizen and a good Samaritan, and there weren't enough volunteer opportunities. She was pretty young, and we had some age restrictions in Maricopa County. Most people have to be 16 to volunteer, so that was kind of frustrating for us. So we felt like there just had to be somebody somewhere that needed our help, and we invited some people over to our house for dinner, and it was a husband and wife and their daughter, and the man who just become the charter school principal in that neighborhood in Glendale that I grew up in.
I see.
So I just said, how's your school year going? And he literally cried at our table.
Because there's hungry kids out there.
He saw a girl in the cafeteria go through the trash and take food out for the weekend. And at that point, my husband and I looked at each other and we said, all right, we have to do something.
Because folks don't realize a lot of kids eat because they're at school.
Absolutely. We have about 600,000 kids.
They might not eat the whole time till the school day starts again.
Exactly. Yeah, breakfast and lunch at school. We have about 600,000 kids in the state of Arizona that qualify for that food assistance program.
600,000 kids.
Yes.
Wow. That's like, it's great you guys are trying to fill that need, but it's also, I mean, very saddening at the same time.
It is. We would love to put ourselves out of business, meaning there would never be another hungry kid in Arizona. So that's the goal. So come to Street Cafe, and that'll solve it.
Put them out of business by supporting them.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what are some of the crops you guys are harvesting today here on the D-back stadium that you're going to use to feed the kids?
So chives are one of the greatest. They last the longest, and they're the most flavorful.
Right, I can smell them right now.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Lemongrass is another one that's really fragrant that you can tell is great, and we give a lot of that to some of our families in those schools. They make tea out of it, and it's really good for cataracts, I've heard.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Cool. So it's a great learning process. Some other things that we're going to take away are chard. The chard is beautiful right now.
Yeah, chard grows so well here in the Phoenix area. And you guys are having success with it here too.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you can probably talk a little bit more about what we have.
Well, yeah, I mean the chard, the kale, arugula this time of year.
Yep.
We do have some kohlrabi in there. We also we put in a couple of months ago that's starting to sprout up really nice. Some onion starch, some garlic starch that are in the back that we're letting those grow. So when we get to the summer, we'll be able to harvest all of those as well.
And you guys have mint growing sporadically throughout as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
We harvested a little mint today too, absolutely, and some curly kale today, and some curry. So a little bit of everything. He's creative.
And you know, it's been a lot of fun. We still, when the volunteers are here, we give out the edible planting calendar so they can go home and take them. But you know, with DBAC Greens and United Healthcare, there's a loop that's closed here at the stadium that many people don't know about.
And cover that loop. Like, what does that mean? You're having a loop from growing to feeding people.
Well, it starts before that.
Okay.
The Arizona Diamondbacks here at the stadium, the concessionaires, there's a giant compost bin in the back.
Right.
Which is like 40 tons of stuff per month that can go through that
40 tons per month because it's food scraps from the stadium.
Yeah. And so what happens with that is that's taken to our local grow well, which you probably know of here in town.
Western Organics
Grow Well. And they start the process of breaking that down. It ends up in a lot of the potting, soil, and garden amendments that they produce that we use here. And so right now, today, I brought in compost from my compost bin. So we already went through that process with them, and now the group, they're going to start sprinkling in the compost and amending it. We wanted to do the harvest first and then go in and sprinkle in the compost in each one of the layers to continue to build the soil, because with vertical gardening, it's just like in-ground gardening or raised bed gardening. It's all about the soil.
And you are playing God kind of, because it's not contacting the floor. So you have to keep putting a lot of nutritious soil in there for the plants.
Well, not only that, the nutritious soil, it's those, as a lot of us know, the microbes, the mycelium, the beneficial things that are living in living soil. But also, we have this hooked up to an easy flow injection
system, we showed in the last video that we did together,
which is working out phenomenally
well.
So that is an organic liquid fertilizer that every time it goes off, it just gets a microdose of this injected into each level. So we're able to keep things nice and healthy. I did notice today we had probably about a half a dozen plants out of this whole wall that was affected. We had some hornworms that got hungry. But if you look at the garden overall, most of them were not really affected. And as gardeners, we know that we're doing something right. If some of them can get affected, but most of them are looking good. We're creating strong plants, and that starts with strong soil.
And I mean, I don't know if the video camera can pick this up, but there's like the really busy Jefferson Street here. We're in the middle of downtown Phoenix. We're in a concrete desert.
Yes.
There's brick and concrete everywhere, but you have butterflies and hornworms here. So in a sense, you are kind of creating a little bit of a green microclimate here. And the fact that you got hornworms is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Because they knew to come here.
Because if you build it, they will come.
That's a very good baseball analogy. It's my favorite baseball movie of all time. Field of Dreams, for those of you who don't know. And then you get to have food for your program that has healthy soil in it, organic fertilizer, and hopefully was, made a little bit by the food from the stadium.
Exactly. And it's the only place in town that you can get stuff from Chase Field, so from the gardens. So it's awesome.
Maybe in the future, Major League Baseball will make all the packaging and stuff compostable.
I think some of that is. Some of that's
they're really doing those pushes here because of the green initiatives that the Arizona Diamondbacks are doing. Are really amazing. Not just the solar and the composting, the gardens. I mean, what they're using in the stadium, it's being composted. So they're really doing some amazing things. We can all do more, and that's what we're all about here. One of the things, last time we were here, I think both of us were really amazed. I've worked with school gardens a little bit more. I brought in a huge head of broccoli. The thing was gone.
The kids ate
it.
The
kids ate it. You couldn't keep them from eating it. They loved it. It was awesome.
Do you know, I have a theory about this, that I bet if those kids were at home with their parents and the broccoli was on the table, they wouldn't have eaten it. But the fact that it was by the soil in a gardening kind of atmosphere, somehow,
Cool Alex.
with Cool Alex and you, somehow kids like to eat the produce when they play a part in harvesting and being around the garden.
Absolutely.
That's my theory. Something about that.
I think we all do.
I think I'm same. Yeah, exactly. I definitely eat much more produce when I grow up myself because I'm stubborn. I don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah.
So you guys are helping that. That's amazing. That I mean, those kids got that nutrient-dense broccoli that day.
That day. So now what I'm going to do is I want to get back over to the volunteers because we're going to have them be spreading in some new fresh compost that I just got out of my garden compost bins today. So I'll catch up with you in just a little bit.
And would you let me video some of that? So
You
we can
bet.
see how you do it?
You bet.
Okay. All right, Alex, in addition to working with the D-backs, you also install these wall gardens, tower gardens everywhere in the valley at restaurants. And I was just over at the Trader Joe's by Camelback and 20th Street walking the strip mall there, and your tower gardens are there on the wall of the whole complex.
You know, our vertical gardens have really taken off. People love them, and we've been just so fortunate to be able to make an impact in the community, help to educate people, working with schools. So we've been really fortunate to have them in all kinds of installations at restaurants, and you know, this has been an amazing application here on the stadium. It's the largest vertical garden in North America on the stadium.
That's awesome.
It's really pretty cool.
You also grow a lot of stuff at home, and your house is in Phoenix, where Baker Nursery used to be, in that area.
In that area in Arcadia.
We did a video together of your home property showing your vertical gardens as well as your fruit trees. It's got almost 350,000 views on my YouTube channel.
It's been up for about a year, so thank you so much for that. We've gotten calls from all over, and so thank you so much for getting the word out there. I mean, we're a family-owned company trying to make a difference and supporting the community, and for people like yourself supporting this too has been a really amazing process.
Well, keep doing your work, because I love people that garden and grow the food in a local setting, so keep doing your thing.
Thank you. If anyone would like to get some more information, you can go to our Facebook page, our website.
You've got some miracle food here that probably came from your home garden.
I picked this about an hour ago.
And I can eat all these leaves, can't I?
You can eat all the leaves. The blossoms are amazing. My moringa trees still are covered in blossoms.
That's what this is moringa.
It's moringa.
And folks who live in a hot climate can grow this as a tree in the ground.
And harvest everything from this. Yeah, the leaves. I cut this one open. It's a little, I should have let it hang in the tree and dry more.
So these are not quite fully dried, but these are still the seeds from a fresh one.
From a fresh moringa plant, from the pod. So, and this is what I recommend as well, is you want to, I just planted the seeds in the ground. We didn't do them in a pot or anything. To me, I've tried that. They seem to like just to be put in the ground.
And they grow so fast, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, they grow really fast. So
you could prepare these. Actually, I was in Hawaii at a farmer's market. You can prepare these in this stage to eat, or you can let them dry out and plant the seed.
I'm learning all different kinds of ways of using these.
Yeah, totally.
So you can process these seeds, you said, and eat them as well.
Can you?
This large.
And people are using the seeds for purifying water.
It is a miracle plant.
It is. And are you eating the elephant's food?
The elephant food is one of my favorite things to put on a salad.
Because it has that tart kind of taste to it, doesn't it?
This one here in particular, especially if they're watered regularly. Mm-hmm. To me...
When they're juicy.
Mm-hmm, they're a little plump. I love just peeling these off and sprinkling them over a salad. Mm-hmm. Really high in omega-3 fatty acids. To me, the flavor is like a mild green apple with a little bit of salt on it.
It makes my eye kind of go like that, and then the salty taste at the end.
Really? I thought you were just winking at me.
No. Well, maybe, but no. you do have a very nice beard,
Thank
I must
you.
say. And it's very powerful to eat the food you grew yourself at home, because now your immune system and your body is suited for the Phoenix area because you're eating food that was grown in the Phoenix area.
Not just in the area, but in your own little space, right out your back door.
For free.
For free.
Well, go check out Alex's Flower Street Urban Gardens tour. I'll put all his links down below. We've done a ton of videos with Alex so far about the D-backs and his partnership with them and United Healthcare, but also his home garden, fruit trees, and vertical gardens. So I'll put all the links to those videos down below. And I hope folks check you out, because I'm not going to be in Arizona too much longer, but you will be. So keep gardening in town, and you got to keep growing in this desert climate.
We're doing our best. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for including me to cover this amazing project.
Thanks for being here. For both of you, Nicole as well, thank you.
You guys, I keep doing these videos with my friend Alex from Flower Street because it's such a unique thing he's doing by including a widely popular venue, which is the Diamondbacks baseball, Major League Baseball, and he's incorporating gardening into it. It's just, I just get really pumped up about people doing cool things. I got really pumped up about the city of Tempe and the compost program that returned the food waste and organic waste back to the residents. And I'm super excited about what Alex is doing here with Major League Baseball. So kudos to the Diamondbacks, kudos to Flower Street Urban Gardens, and I can't wait to see if they continue this program, hopefully, of course, maybe even expand it and grow on different parts of the stadium. Maybe other baseball stadiums will pick up this example that the D-backs are setting and do it at their stadiums, and we can use a crazy popular thing, which is baseball, and the venues of their stadiums to make the world an edible and greener place.